Mike Moore Media.
I'm talking to Jan Griggs with Brokenchains, Addiction and Life Recovery right here in Rockingham County. And she also has, in addition to that Facebook page, Brokenchains, Blessing the Homeless of Rockingham County. Jan, good to have you back. How are you?
Good morning, Mike. I'm good. I hope you are.
I'm doing well. A lot of people aren't doing well during this pandemic, and people that already had some issues now with everything that's going on. I keep seeing more and more stories on TV about addiction and the increase and mental health and depression. Let's bring that home, Jan. Where are we here in Rockingham County?
Well, here in Rockingham County, we have had a rise in depression, in active addiction, and frustration with the mental state that people are in with not working, not being able to get out and enjoy family and friends, not being able to fellowship with others as they are used to doing on a weekly basis. And it's really put people into a spiral. Idle minds. If you sit at home and you don't have anything that you can only do so much in a day's time. And when we're idle, that devil's going to play tricks on us. No matter what we're doing, we never think it's good enough. And before this pandemic started, Rockingham County was already classified as the 7th highest of opioid overdoses in North Carolina. That's per ER visits in 2019. In 2019, there were 64 opioid overdoses that occurred throughout the emergency departments in our hospitals here, the 2 hospitals. So with this pandemic going on and everything shut down, people are at home. People that have gotten out of active addiction and have worked on their mental state and just their whole life changing completely for the good. Some of them, unfortunately, have felt the need and have needed to numb up. And, it starts off, something simple. Well, let me just start, let me just do this. Let me do that. And before you know it, within a week or 2 time, they're back using what they've already given up, laid down, given to God, and walked away from. But, recovery is just an everyday lesson, and it's an everyday thing that you have to just commit to daily, just like getting out of bed when you're, covered with just this blanket of depression that follows you everywhere. And we've just been trying to really encourage people. There are still treatment facilities that are taking people that are non-symptomatic. The majority of those places do not cost. If they do, we can work around that. We're just trying to do what we can do to help people get through this and to maintain. We saw a huge need about the 3rd day that we were under a shelter in place here in Rockingham County, and people were panicking. People that are used to going to NA and AA and Celebrate Recovery and Brokenchains and just group support were unable to go. And that may not seem like a crisis situation to people without that mental state, depression, or addiction, but it is huge for
it's
people
critical.
that are in that
critical,
way of life. It is very, very critical.
Yeah.
Very critical. And we decided, we prayed about it and decided to create a private group. That group is Live with Brokenchains is the name of that group. And we're going live nightly at 7 p.m. Doing group support, praise and worship. We've had ministers to come in and fill in and help. We've had the Greater Greensboro Teen Challenge to come in and do live videos. It is a private group, and you have to request to be entered. And the reason that is we just don't want everyone's business scattered all over the world. That's their story to tell.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they want to tell it in that business, but everyone that's in that group must sign the privacy HIPAA disclaimer, and that's very serious, you know, in that way too. But we're trying really hard to keep people connected and to stay connected, and just want people to know that they're loved and appreciated and cared about through this. But it has been really, it's really hard to see people that have gone through just such huge change get so depressed and fall back into their addiction. And that's what we're working with. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, because they're in and under shelter in place, they've gone back to using, or they've not stopped using. And when I say using, I'm talking about illegal drugs and or alcohol, because they're so scared of detoxing. You know, detoxing at home it can be very scary, but it's very doable if you are a healthy person. If you're not healthy, then of course you would need to do that in a treatment facility. Mm-hmm. But we've just really tried to be there in different ways than what we're used to being, and it has actually gone well.
Good.
We've started some different things. We started 3 weeks ago. We started blessing the burden barriers. There were so many heavy burdens, you know, parents who are watching their children, you know, just suffer through heavy addiction and sliding back into addiction, or just being so depressed that they won't get out of their bed. Mm-hmm. And Kathy and Donna, two of my friends in Brokenchains, started an outreach ministry. And each Tuesday, you can send in an unspoken burden. Get rid of your burden. Give it to somebody and let them give it to God. And then on Wednesday, you take someone else's unspoken burden. And I've never, I'm 56 years old, and I've never seen God move as powerful as he has moved in that outreach in the past 3 weeks.
Oh, that's wonderful.
When you're weighed down with your burdens and you think, you know, that there's no one else out there that understands, when you give that burden away and you lay it down, and taking on another burden just teaches us discipline. And we've all got to have discipline in order to survive, you know, well in life. And people's lives are changing, and, you know, they're giving testimonies about it, and it's an amazing thing to watch unfold. And I just appreciate these ladies for doing this and starting this. And
oh, yeah. We're
just trying to keep everybody covered. And, you know, we always have critics. We're going to always have critics. But I saw on one of my Brokenchains friends is in horrendous grief. Her son died 2 months ago, and she had those on her wall right before we started this interview, and I'm going to read it if that's okay.
Please do.
It says, Jesus chose to walk with 12 very messed up people to show you that you're never too messed up to walk with him. Mm. And a lot of people feel like they've gone too far down to rock bottom, or they're sitting there alone, and they don't think it's possible to climb up off of rock bottom. And, you know, we're just trying to assure them and let them know, you know, all they've got to do is look up and reach their hand up, and God will do the rest. You know, they've just got to be willing to let him work in their lives. And, you know, God can take away anything, and he can surely take away addiction, depression, suicidal thoughts, you know, anxiousness. And we're just really, really moved at how God has worked with Brokenchains and these live feeds, because we haven't been able to meet. Mm-hmm. We did meet this past Tuesday with 10, and we plan on moving forward with that. until or if things change for the state of North Carolina. But it's very, very, very critical for us to realize, as a county, that, seventh in the highest opioid overdose rate in 2019, that's not good. Not for a small county like Rockingham County.
No.
And we just cannot keep tuning a deaf ear or looking the other way or hoping that it goes away. It's not going to go away. It's going to get worse if we don't get this head on as a community.
Mm-hmm.
And as a faith-based community, this is our opportunity as faith-based organizations to allow God, step aside and allow God to move. But for God to move, we've got to continue to be the hands and feet of Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
We can't just keep ignoring it because what's going to happen is the people that are in addiction now, that are in heavy addiction now, most of them are in their 20s, 30s, and 40s.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, they're going to be 40, 50, and 60. And our children that we think, because we all want to think we have children that are going to live these perfect, wonderful lives. Well, none of them are, including mine. They're going to be the ones that are 20 and 30 and 40, and they're going to be the ones subjected to all of the demons on the devil's playground. They're already subjected, but we've got to really be the hands and feet of Jesus and just admit that we've got a problem in this county and work together, join forces. We'll join forces and work together and not allow the devil to make anything a competition. I say it, I think every time I'm probably on here, and I'll say it again, we can get so much more done if we join hands. We can't get anything done with clenched fists.
No.
And,
no.
Just realizing that we have a problem is the first step.
Well, I know it's challenging, difficult times for everyone, and particularly if we have a substance abuse issue and then the depression and the frustration and all of that just kind of comes down on everybody. Tell us, and I appreciate you dispensing words of hope and a helping hand. Tell us in the next minute and a half here, Jan. I want to get this in 15 minutes so we can get this on YouTube. It's okay.
Right.
But tell us how we can connect with you. What do we need to do?
You can connect with me. You can call 336-327-8663. We also have a Brokenchains page that is set up for messaging. Call now if it's an emergency. And then if you would like to join the live feed each night at 7, you can request to join that. And that is on a Facebook page, Live with Brokenchains. And we'll help you any way that we can. We'll guide you in the right direction. We've got several really good establishments here in the county that can help you, past group support and one-on-one. And we're familiar with those, and we know which ones are able to help you for your personal journey, because it's all a personal journey.
Mm-hmm.
No one's journey is the same in life or in addiction. It's all personal.
Yep.
We're just going to keep pressing on. We're going to meet on Tuesday night at 1122 Fieldcrest Road in Eden. That's at Draper Christian Church. And just keep everybody prayed up and working with people and trying to help people. That's what our main goal is to allow God to allow us to help others.
Jan, thank you for your words of encouragement. Always good to talk to you. Let me give that contact information again. Jan's number for Brokenchains is 336-327-8663.